The most valuable rookies, part 2, brand importance. This is a second in a series of talks on the most valuable rookies. Which ones are the most valuable? Last time we discussed primarily the definition of rookie and rookie card, and went on to talk about the different logos in terms of rookies that appears in the cards. And today we're going to cover the rookie cards, the most valuable ones, and basing it on the brand. So it was really kind of easy prior to 1981, somewhat, to tell which cards to get, because it was one brand, and that was the Topps brand. And so that between 1952 and 1981, that's pretty much all you had to choose from. Early on, there was some Bowmans, but the Topps was the premier card of the time. And so of those cards, that basically, if you wanted to get the rookie card of Ernie Banks, Al Kaline, Henry Aaron, Sandy Koufax, Roberto Clemente, Pete Rose, Yount, Brett, Ryan, or Henderson, pretty much that was the card, and that was the rookie, and that pretty much was the only rookie. So kind of easy prior to 1981. So now we move into looking at, if we're just considering Topps as the rookie card, what were the most iconic Major League Baseball cards for every team? So if we take the Baltimore Orioles with Cal Ripken, Boston Red Sox, Carl Yastrzemski, the New York Yankees, Derek Jeter, Tampa Bay, Wander Franco, Blue Jays, Guerrero Jr., the Chicago White Sox, Frank Thomas, Tigers, Al Kaline, the Royals, George Brett, the Twins, Kirby Puckett, the Astros, Jeff Bagwell, the Angels, Mike Trout, the A's, Jose Canseco, the Seattle Mariners, Ken Griffey, Texas Rangers, Ivan Rodriguez, the Milwaukee Braves, Hank Aaron, the Miami, it was Cabrera, and the New York Mets, Nolan Ryan, and the Washington is Soto. And not only were these cards, in terms of there's different brands, but there were also cards that were kind of the updates, like the Fleer Ultra update. The Ivan Rodriguez would be more valuable. Or if we looked at the Upper Deck SP, that would be more valuable for the Jeter. Or the Kirby Puckett, it was the Fleer update in 1984. If we looked at Mike Trout, it was the Bowman Chrome autograph. If we looked at Cal Ripken, it was the 82 Topps update. And so that pretty much each person can choose which player or rookie card was the best, but it's kind of fun to kind of go through it and find out by pricing the cards. And this was what was discovered at a certain moment in time. Then we move on to the Philadelphia Phillies with Mike Schmidt, the Chicago Cubs with Ernie Banks, and then we look at the Cincinnati Reds, Pete Rose, the Milwaukee Brewers, Robin Yount, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Roberto Clemente, the Arizona Diamondbacks with Goldschmidt, the Colorado Rockies, Todd Helton, the Los Angeles Dodgers, Sandy Koufax, the San Diego Padres, Tony Gwynn, and the Giants, Posey. And even in those sets, you'll see that there is a chrome autograph of Bowman for Pujols that is more valuable as a unique card, and also the chrome of Buster Posey. So if you just kind of took all of the different teams and you kind of put what rookies card were most valuable, this is, at least at one point in time, what you would come up with. So we see that these cards, when we talked about last time in terms of what is a rookie and what is a label, you see rookies, team future stars, draft picks, prospects, and rookie of the year cards that became available. So we have the rookie stars, Pete Rose, we have the rookie stars with Nolan Ryan, we have the Topps All-Star rookies, which is pretty much the second year in Ron Santo. We have the Future Stars rookie, which was Cal Ripken. We have the U.S. baseball team, which was the rookie card for Mark McGwire. We have the 85 draft pick, which was not the first card, but a representation of it being a draft pick for Darryl Strawberry, as well as the draft pick for Chipper Jones and the draft pick for Derek Jeter. And then we have prospect cards throughout, and we have Rookie of the Year cards. So you have a kind of an assortment of different titles to which cards are rookies, and even then it's not necessarily the rookie card, but these are just labels. So what were the most valuable Topps cards? And most of them, as we kind of investigate, would be the rookie cards. So 10 of the 100 most valuable cards of all time were the Topps 52 Mickey Mantle and the Topps 53 Mickey Mantle and the Roberto Clemente rookie card, the Willie Mays 52 Topps card, the Andy Pafko, only because it was unique in terms of the first card and hard to find in a mint condition. We have the 53 Willie Mays, the Sandy Koufax, and the 54 Ernie Banks. So these would be among the most valuable Topps cards. And as you can see, they're not all rookies, but many of them are the first card in the Topps series of that player, as well as the Pete Rose 63 and the Nolan Ryan, which was 68. So now we're just going to go through each year with Topps and which were the most valuable rookie cards. So you don't see in the 52, you really don't see the Mickey Mantle or the Willie Mays because it wasn't their rookie year. So the rookie year and the card that was worth the most is the Ed Matthews. Then in the 53, we have Jim Gilliam, and who was a rookie, and then you have Hank Aaron in the 54, and Roberto Clemente in the 55, Luis Aparicio 56, Brooks Robinson 57, Roger Maris 58, Bob Gibson 59, Yastrzemski 60, Marischal 61, Lou Brock 62, Pete Rose 63, Phil Niekro 64, Steve Carlton 65, Jim Palmer 66. And then you have other cards of that same year that basically also were valuable. For example, the 65 Tony Perez Hall of Famer and the Joe Morgan Hall of Famer, as well as in the 61 set, you have the Ron Santo and you have the Billy Williams cards. And then you also have in the 55, you have the Harmon Killebrew, as well as the Sandy Koufax, and you have in the 54, in addition to Mays, you have the Ernie Banks and the Al Kaline. In the 62, you have the Bob Uecker, and you have in the 66, you have Ferguson Jenkson, Hall of Famer, and then you have kind of an odd card in terms of the Grant Jackson. And this card was valuable because it was a high number card and hard to find in good condition. And then you have the 68 Tom Seaver. So these are considered to be the most valuable of those particular years in Topps. Moving on from 1952 to 1967, we go to the 68, Nolan Ryan, the 69, Reggie Jackson, the 70, Thurman Munson, the 71, Dusty Baker, and also Don Baylor on that card, the 71, Burt Blyleven, Hall of Famer, the 72, Carlton Fisk, the 73, Mike Schmidt, 74, Dave Winfield, 75, George Brett, 76, Dennis Eckersley, 77, Andre Dawson, 78, we have the combination of Paul Molitor and Alan Trammell, 79, Ozzie Smith, and 80, Ricky Henderson. But then also you have in the 69, you have Bobby Cox, when he's a player in his first year, card for the Yankees, and you have Hall of Famer Rollie Fingers. And you also have in the 74, you have Ken Griffey, and then you have Dave Parker. In 75, you have Robin Yount in addition to Brad, and you also have Gary Carter as well as Jim Rice. 77, you have the Dale Murphy and the Bruce Sutter. And in 81, you start having Fernando Valenzuela, as well as Harold Baines Hall of Famer and Tim Raines Hall of Famer. So these were, again, the top rookies and the top sets for each particular year from 69 to 81. Moving on, we have the 82, 83, the Cal Ripken rookie card, but in terms of the 82 update set, the more valuable Cal Ripken card, and you have Tony Gwynn, 83, Don Mattingly, 84, Mark McGuire, 85, Ozzie Guillen, 86, Barry Bonds, 87, Tom Glavine, 88, Ken Griffey, 89, Frank Thomas, 90, Chipper Jones, 91, the USA card for Norman Garcia-Parra, 92, the Derek Jeter, draft pick, 93, Paul Korenko, 94, Carlos Beltran in 95, Sean Casey, and then on to Eric Chavez. Amongst these, there are other cards. For example, in the 83, not only do you have the Gwynn, but you have the Wade Boggs and Ryan Sandberg. And then you have in the 85, you also have the Darryl Strawberry first draft pick card. And then you have other cards in the 86 of players like Darryl Dalton, Cecil Fielder, and Howard Reynolds, not Hall of Famers, but stars in their own right. Then you also have in the 94, you have Rusty Greer and Ben Grieve, and in the 95, you have the era card of Carlos Beltran, a different picture on the front, and kind of switched in that sense in the names. And so these were the most valuable cards from 83 to 97 in the top series that were rookies. And what's interesting is you have another card that is also more valuable than the Frank Thomas rookie card in that set, and that is the one that's the era card where there's no name in the logo. And you have the Chipper Jones 91, that is the Desert Storm, and that became much more valuable. So sometimes you'll have cards that are going to price out even higher because of the scarcity, but they were still rookie cards. Moving on, we find that we have the 2005, we have Corey Lytle, and then we have CC Sabathia, Cabrera in 2000, and then 2001 we have Pujols' rookie card and tops, and 2002 we have Joe Mauer, and 3 Robinson Cano, and 94 Yadier Molina. Justin Verlander comes along in 2005. And you have John Lester and Justin Upton, of course, Clayton Kershaw in 2005, 2006, Daniel Murphy and Mike Stanton. Down below, we have the two together in 2011, 2012, Mike Trout and Bryce Harper. And then you have Christian Yelich and Didi Gregorius. Then Mookie Betts, on to Corey Seager and Wilson Contreras finishing it out. So we have these cards, as well as going back to 2001, you also have Ichiro Suzuki's rookie card, and you have Corey Kluber in the 2013 also. And then you also have Trevor Story and Gary Sanchez in the 2016. So these are the most valuable Topps rookie cards from 1998 to 2016. Well, we're not through yet because we still have to go through 2017, 2022. And of course, we've got Aaron Judge, Ronald Acuna, Fernando Tatis Jr., Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Lewis Robert, and other players ending with Shoshana Yotuni. And these players may or may not be Hall of Famers, but for the current moment, these are the cards that are the most valuable rookies in those particular years in the Topps series. So it's not only Topps that basically has this kind of continuum of stars that are collectible as rookies for each year, but the investigation into the other brands, we find, of course, that Bowman has always been considered home of the rookies, and we'll talk about that later. But so not putting it really into years, but you can look over these different cards that are here listed, and these are sort of the Bowman rookie cards for those same top players. And we'll have a few new ones kind of within, such as Byron Buxton, as well as Bichetti and Boz. And we'll have the cards that are the like Strasburg and so forth, Soto and so forth, that are in these Bowman cards, and kind of valuable because they are the first cards with Bowman or the rookie cards. Moving on, we'll have the Max Scherzers, the David Price, the Christian Yelich. We've had them before, but they're out here. Even the Dustin Pedroia and Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, their rookie cards. Even Longoria, Carlos Carrera, Andrew McCutchen, Tim Litcham, Freddie Freeman, Alex Goldsmith, Josh Donaldson, Altuve, Rick Porcello. So many cards that are rookie cards of players that have potential to make the Hall of Fame. Their cards, first cards, rookie cards, are in Bowman. And we will see that the 10 most valuable Topps baseball cards are the 210s. Now we're looking at just the 210s from 2010 to 2020. We've got Mike Trout, Ohtani, Posey, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Jacob deGrom, Bryce Harper, Ronald Acuna Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., and also Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Other cards you can place in there, and they will kind of go up and down as their performance and the market goes, but these are at least considered at the moment the 10 most valuable cards of the 210. So as I said, Bowman is considered the home of the rookie card. And that came about because 1989, when they kind of started to produce cards again, there were actually 46 rookies in the 484 card Bowman set. Then in 1995, there were 220 rookies out of 439 in that particular set. And moving on to 1997, that's when it kind of was coined the home of the rookie card, and used this term for the first time in their marketing by Topps. And in this set, there were 360 rookies out of 441 cards. So definitely, kind of, if you're looking for rookies, looking for prospects, looking for first cards, this was the place to go. So they would coin terms within their labeling of the cards as prospect, first card, draft gold, draft rookie, pre-rookie, heritage rookie, futurist, and you can see them. And Luciano has the prospect label, and Lawler and Rushman have the first Bowman, and then you move on to the rookie cards where you see Clayton Kershaw, Suzuki, and Dalbec, and then you have the Chrome rookie and Ohtani, and the heritage rookie and the futurist. So you have all these labels again that are constantly used and interchangeable in terms of rookie designations. So the 10 best Bowman cards of all time, as has been listed by some experts, are these cards that are shown here, where you have the Mike Trout signed Chrome card. You have the 1951 and 1951 Mays and Mantle. You have the 1948 Ted Williams Bowman. You have the Sterling card of 09 of Trout, as well as the refractor chrome of Mookie Betts and the refractor chrome of Soto. And so these are considered the most valuable in the Bowman sets. And you'll even see the 89 Bowman rookie of Ken Griffey Jr. So in terms of their Chrome rookies, okay, which would become later on, you would have the Mike Trout autographed in Chrome and the Albert Pujols autograph in Chrome, as well as Bryce Harper, Suzuki, Justin Verlander, Clayton Kershaw, Steven Strasburg, Buster Posey, Ohtani, and Guerrero's refractor. So again, as we get into autographs in Chrome and refractors, the prices tend to go up because they're a scarcity combined with the quality of the player and the potential for the Hall of Fame. So if we look at what are we talking about, some of the prices. Now, this is just the prices that have been recorded over the course of time. Maybe you wouldn't get this off the card today. Maybe you get more, but this is some of the examples of how high priced these cards can get. So the 2001 Bowman Chrome Albert Pujols rookie card 340 autographed has gone for as much as $24,500. Going on to the 2005 Bowman Chrome Justin Verlander autograph went for as much as $1,700. And the 2006 Bowman Chrome Clayton Kershaw went for $2,000. The 2009 Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor autograph Mike Trout, $215,000. And we see the 2011 Bowman Chrome Prospect autograph Bryce Harper, $2,076. And finally, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 2019 Topps Chrome Sapphire Red Refractor, $26,000. So these cards demand a high price, and one would be very fortunate to get them in a pack or even to have purchased them at a lower price, and kind of gives you the extreme range that these cards can go for in the Bowman series. And Bowman rookies that are from 1948 to 1952 are also kind of interesting because a lot of these are the actual rookie cards of the players that still appear in Topps, but these were their first cards. And so we see Yogi Berra, Phil Rizzuto, Warren Spahn, Stan Musial, Roy Campanella, Satchel Paige, Ricky Ashburn, Duke Snyder, and we see Seaver and Doby and Newcomb and Whitey Ford and Nelson Fox, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Minnie Noso, Lou Burdett, and Bob Friend are all basically the valuable cards and the rookie cards that were in the original Bowman sets from 1948 to 1952. And Jackie Robinson being a very kind of important card to add to one set and pretty substantial in price. So you say, well, it's confusing back in the 48 to 52 when you have Topps coming on and Bowman, which cards are there and which ones are in both sets. And this is kind of a list that you can kind of refer to, or you have either Bowman and Topps together or Topps by itself. So just kind of a quick reference list from those years from 1952, 1955, where they were both available, Topps as well as Bowman cards. And moving on, remember that Bowman starts again in 1989, and one of the kind of premier sets of the new kind of Bowman card series was the 1992 Bowman rookies. And you can see a lot of familiar faces, and some of these are Hall of Famers, as is Mariano Rivera, Mike Piazza, Pedro Martinez, Chipper Jones, Trevor Hoffman are all, as well as Jim Thome, and also some recognizable star players as Manny Ramirez, Kenny Lofton, and Carlos Delgado. So very good-looking card, kind of very available card. Unfortunately, not carrying that real high value because this is during the 1980, 1990 card wax card, junk card era. But then another card that's kind of very attractive and very appealing that Bowman put out in 1996. Unfortunately, this was not a really high year for outstanding rookies. I mean, rookies that made the Hall of Fame, but you have very stars, A.J. Brzezinski, Dempster, Council, Cameron, Sweeney, and kind of a player that was promoted to be a high rookie pick, but never kind of panned out, and that's Josh Booty. So 1989 to 2006 Bowman rookies, and you can kind of look these over and peruse them for each year. And you'll see many players that are in the Hall of Fame, like Derek Jeter and potentially Alex Rodriguez, and questionable in terms of the steroids. You have certainly Ken Griffey and Frank Thomas and Jim Thome, as well as Vladimir Guerrero, a person who questionably could make the Hall of Fame, Andrew Jones and Andre Beltre, and Ortiz, CC Sabathia. All of these players have potential. Certainly Pujols is a shoe-in, as perhaps Maurer. Then you have Kevin Youkilis and Molina and Justin Verlander. So a lot of rookies that kind of you want to collect because they were star players are available in the Bowman series. And then moving on to 2007, 2016, I won't go over all of these. You can read the names and kind of spend some time with them. Some of the big names, of course, being Vladimir Guerrero, as well as David Price and Freddie Freeman, Bryce Harper, Steven Strasburg, Mookie Bettis, Fernando Tatis Jr., even Derek Jeter, all part of the Bowman. And then finally ending the years with 2017, 2022, you can certainly recognize Aaron Judge, as well as other players that are here could and potentially make the Hall of Fame, not the least of which is Ohtani. So now we look at another brand then that was coming on the scene during this wax junk card era, where you had these kind of 6 competing manufacturers, the Topps, the Donruss, the Fleer, the Score, and the Bowman. But it became the premier set of that particular year of 1989, which the key card was certainly Ken Griffey Jr., and you had the same thing for Randy Johnson and his rookie card in 1989. So we look at this really fanning the fire to kind of purchase rookie cards was promoted by Upper Deck, and Ken Griffey Jr. was a phenomenon. It's the most iconic card of all time, and a little history is kind of interesting. It was featured as card number 1 in the Upper Deck set. Upper Deck sold out midway through the inaugural year. It pre-sold its 1990 series based on the results of the sales of 1989 because of people wanting to get a hold of this Ken Griffey card. Score and Topps neglected to include this card in their regular 1989 set, so Upper Deck was kind of taking the lead because that was the key card to get. The price soared from $10 in 1989 to $100 in 1999, but it really wasn't scarce. It was part of the junk card era. But in 2022, currently, if you get a PSA grade 7 or more, it can be valuable in terms of $10 to $40. It was the card of the year from 1999 to 2004. It was the most Upper Deck graded card of all time, and because it was situated at the top of the sheets that they cut, the left corner cut sheet liable to pour cut and ding corner, so it's really hard to get a perfect mint or even a 9.5 grading on that particular card. And the person who kind of led the charge and kind of chose Griffey to be their premier card was Tom Guidman, who helped the company back when he was only 18. So we have many cards in addition to that Ken Griffey and the Randy Johnson that were the rookie cards for players and became the prime rookie card for them. And that was people like John Smoltz, who made the Hall of Fame, as well as Craig Biggio. Omar Vizquel perhaps could make it. Sandy Alomar was the star player. Gary Sheffield, Craig Jeffries, Felix Jose, Dante Bichette. Other card players that are kind of known may not make the Hall of Fame, or Mark Lemke, Brady Anderson, Chris Sabo, Joe Girardi, who became the coach of the Yankees, better known for that perhaps, Jose Bautista, Doug DeCincio, Lenny Harris, Gerald Clark, and Jim Abbott, which was a phenomenal pitcher who was actually missing his hand and so forth, that still was able to pitch. Amazing. Then we move on to, and now we got this kind of surge of people looking for rookie guys, trying to get them early, buying scores and scores of amounts of cards, thinking that they would make a fortune later on selling them if they ever got as valuable as Mickey Mantle 1952. And so they created a whole kind of insignia on their cards, rookie cards. And so the players of note back then for the rookie cards was Deion Sanders and Sammy Sosa and Larry Walker, Juan Gonzalez, as well as John Olerud, Ben McDonald. But a lot of these players kind of burn out, as you would guess, in time. In fact, probably very few of the ones in the bottom are recognized. They were highly sought after in that 1990 series. Other cards were Andy Bennett's, a card we'll talk about later, that been kind of a one-hit wonder in a sense, was Kevin Moss, and also Hal Morris. Robert Ventura had a lot of expectations. Tino Martinez, well known for the Yankees and so forth, and an excellent player. Alex Cole, just amazing on the base pass. Carlos Borrega, Eric Anthony is supposed to be the next great home run hitter. Joey Bell, we'll talk about him later when we talk about rookies. Kind of an interesting player, but this was kind of the logo that was on those cards, and they were selling the rookies out of the Upper Deck series for high amounts if one collected all of them together. Then we move on. The flow and the importance of the Upper Deck and the rookies is still going on. We look at the Topps prospect, Chipper Jones, the Hall of Famer Frank Thomas, and Hall of Famer Jack Bagwell, Pedro Martinez, Mike Messina, Jim Thome. Other players of note that were kind of star players at the time and highly sought after were Steve Avery, Jeff Conine, Kenny Lofton, Rondo White. Dave Justice had his moment of glory in the big leagues. Other players that were high in expectations but didn't pan out were Reggie Sanders, Tim Costo, Eric Karras, Mickey Morandini, Dan Wilson, DJ Dozer, who was a two-sport football and baseball player, Mike Lieberthal, Maurice Vaughn, and then kind of a washout, but really high in demand during that year was Todd Van Poppel, as well as Louis Gonzalez, who had a great career, and Dave Stanton and Henry Rodriguez. Moving on to the Topps 1992, it's kind of beginning to phase out. The cards are still very, demandable in terms of their appearance and so forth. And we have an Ivan Rodriguez as well as Carlos Delgado. Some players who kind of phased out were Carl Everett, Ryan Jordan, Ryan Klesko, Aaron Seeley, Tyler Green. Garrett Anderson had a kind of a nice career in baseball, as well as Sean Green, and Pat Mahomes, perhaps more known for his son, the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, and perhaps his own prowess, but he was in the rookie that year, as well as Nigel Wilson, Brooks Husky, Trevor Hoffman. They're his prospect, again, a Hall of Famer. J.R. Phillips was a home run hitter that never really panned out long term, and Raul Mondesi, as well as Turk Wendell, kind of a knuckleball pitcher, as well as Alex Gonzalez, to name a few of those stars. Again, moving on to 1993, we have a very kind of iconic card, probably the most valuable card in the base sets, and that is the SP of Derek Jeter. We also have a Piazza, star rookie, other players that really had good careers, but maybe didn't pan out as prospects was Tim Salmon, Rodriguez, JT Snow, another card that's sought after, and he was a good player, and they kind of, for the Royals was Johnny Damon, Javi Lopez, Cliff Floyd was again rated very high, but that didn't pan out. Jim Tatum, again, we see Nigel Wilson. Okay, so when we move to Fleer, we've got a very kind of interesting circumstance that happens, that we have Maury Wills, who was incredibly a star and won the most valuable player in '62 when he came up as a rookie, but there's no Topps card. So when we look at this, Topps kept him out of their sets until 1967. You see his first card in Topps, really about 5 years after he was in the league. The flap was that Willis was not a valid star, and Topps failed to recognize him. That's simple, and that miffed Willis, and so he signed an exclusive contract with Fleer. And that card later appeared, as it should have in '62, in the Topps kind of design, and a Kmart card included Willis to complete their run of MVP winners in their '82 Kmart set. And then in 1987, Topps came out with a Turn Back the Clock and actually had Wills in a '62 card. And then in 1975, there also was a picture of what the card would have looked like on their kind of review of the most valuable players, and you can see that that was what his card would have looked like. And he was well known because at this particular time he was the holder of the all-time stolen base record of 104, which later was broken by Rickey Henderson, but never kind of had a rookie card. So his most valuable card really is in the Fleer set. Then we go on to Topps 10 Fleer baseball rookie cards of the '80s. So these are the kind of top sellers in the base set. So Cal Ripken, even Tony Gwynn, all these are Hall of Famers. Wade Boggs, Ron Zimmer. Mathematically is not, but his '84 Fleer is highly valued. And then you have the cards of Clemens and Puckett. We'll see, and we already have seen that they were in the Fleer update and worth a lot. And then we have the '86 Jose Canseco, as well as the '87 Bonds and the '89 Griffey that are valuable. So we move on to from the base sets to the update sets. And in those sets, there are some very high-level cards. And so getting these kind of boxes of the updates can sometimes pose to be valuable just on a few cards of the rookies they're really considered their first rookie most valuable rookie. So such is the case of the '91 Fleer update, if one's looking for the Hall of Famer Ivan Rodriguez, but also that really is the most valuable card of Juan Gonzalez. And then in '92, when you're looking at cards that are valuable rookies, it would be Piazza's rookie card, really was his first there in the 1992 Fleer update, and then Jeff Kent, who was kind of a star player, was also his rookie card was in that set. In the 1989 kind of Fleer updates, you have both Randy Johnson and Ken Griffey Jr., who are Hall of Famers, and then interesting cards like the Joe Girardi rookie, as well as Junior Felix and Deion Sanders. And we move to the '88, and we see we have the kind of rookie cards of John Smoltz, Craig Biggio, Roberto Alomar, and other players that were considered of prominence, and that being David Wells and Mark Grace. But of all of the update cards for Fleer, really the key kind of moneymaker, even though it was in the junk card era, was the 1984 Fleer update set. And it was just had a host of rookies the first time that the cards appeared in this particular set. So you had players that, were stars and is not yet, and may never be, but certainly possibly could get into the Hall of Fame. Mark Langston, Brett Saberhagen, Jose Rio, Mark Gubzia, Brooke Jacoby, and R.J. Reynolds. But more importantly, you had the Roger Clemens and Kirby Puckett really first cards, the Darryl Strawberry first card, as well as other players that have names and stardom, being Phil Bradley, Alvin Davis, and John Franco. Of course, every brand in this particular junk wax era are going to have all sorts of rookies and promote their rookies, and that certainly would include Score, who use terms on their cards to kind of promote sales. Rookie, prospect, first draft pick, first round pick, hot rookie, rookie of the year, call up, and all that. And you can see the various players. Some of them are certainly stars like the Edgar Martinez, Frank Thomas, Chipper Jones, as well as Frank Thomas again, and Manny Ramirez and Alex Rodriguez, many rookie cards for him. And so these were cards that were kind of available at the time, and they were hot prospects. Everybody's trying to get every card of every player. Of all the Score cards, probably its most valuable set is the 1988 Score rookie and traded card set, because in that set you will see three key players appear for the first time, and that is the Roberto Alomar, Craig Biggio card. There also is a Tom Glavine rookie card, and other less kind of well-known players, but certainly rookies in their first card, being Todd Burns, Brady Anderson, Rob Dibble, Ricky Jordan, Chris Sabo, Darrell Hamilton, and Brian Harvey. So within the Topps family of cards, the manufacturer, there was Stadium Club, and Stadium Club was very popular when it kind of hit the scene in 1991. And there were certain rookie and star cards that one would want to kind of collect, and certainly they were valuable at the time. And the most prominent one is the Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell, but there also were kind of interesting cards for players that became popular, Manny Rodriguez, as well as Jason Giambi. As I say, Dave Justice had his moment in the sun, and Luis Gonzalez was a kind of consistently good player. And you have the Sammy Sosa card, as well as a very good player, doesn't get a whole lot of recognition except perhaps in Detroit, is Travis Ryman. And then you have a card that was considered the rookie card in Stadium for Frank Thomas, and a very interesting card of Nolan Ryan, who was very, very popular at the time, kind of dressed in a tux and pitching. Leaf then also kind of came out in that 1991 with some clearly valuable cards, and those cards as rookies were the Frank Thomas, Larry Walker, and Sammy Sosa, but there also was a Deion Sanders, as well as a John Olerud, Mark Whitten, Joey Bell card. So all these cards in that set were highly kind of valuable and in demand from collectors during this particular time. So the 10 most valuable Donruss rookie cards of the 80s. So now we're moving into Donruss, who basically started in 82. We have the Cal Ripken, and all cards you can see, these are rookies and Hall of Famers. Wade Boggs, Ryan Sandberg, Tony Gwynn. In 84, we have the iconic Don Mattingly card, which is considered his most valuable card by many. You also have a rookie for Roger Clemens and Kirby Puckett. Jose Canseco's card went way out of control during this junk wax era, easily the first year, demanding as much as $70 to $100. The Barry Bonds card, and a card to this day that's still valuable is the Greg Maddux rated rookie card. So Donruss rookie cards during the periods of 1984 and 1985 and 86, you'll see that many of the popular stars of the time, their rookie cards were available in these sets. And we already mentioned the Don Mattingly, but in 85 you have Dwight Gooden and other players that kind of got a name for themselves in baseball, like Oral Hershiser, Danny Tartabull, Billy Hatcher, Brett Saberhagen. And then 86, beyond Jose Canseco, you had Billy Beane, perhaps more popular for his work with the Oakland A's and Moneyball, and then you had Fred McGriff and Andres Galarraga, Paul O'Neill, Cecil Fielder, and Darren Dalton. So some really kind of cards that are nice to add to one's collection. And you had kind of interesting cards of rookies like McReynolds and Ron Kittle and Gary Pettis, as well as in the '85 Jimmy Key, Jeff Pendleton, Sid Bream, Ozzie Guillen, Eric Davis, Tom Browning, and in the '86 you got Vince Coleman, Mike Gallego, and Mario Duncan, Ozzie Guillen, and even more like Harold Reynolds, Ivan Calderon, Stan Javier, and Roger McDowell. So lots of interesting rookies here and lots of Hall of Famers, and a very kind of quality card to collect during that particular time, though it was during the junk wax era. And we have others here in terms of Brian Harper, Gary Reedus, and Dennis Allen Boyd, as well as Tom Candiotti and Brooke Jacoby. So these are some of the cards of that time. And finally, we get to the kind of update sets like all these card companies had, and it was called the Rookies for Donruss from 1986 to 92. And you'll see what were considered the first cards in the Donruss series, and probably almost a year ahead of the actual rookie cards for John Crook, Bobby Bonilla, Barry Bonds, Bo Jackson, Ruben Sierra, and Kelly Gruber in 86, and then Mark McGuire and Greg Maddux in 87, Sandy Alomar in 90, Ken Griffey, Randy Johnson in 89, as well as Dave Justice, and even Pedro Martinez and Ivan Rodriguez. So this is kind of rounds it out in terms of the cards that are of value, that are rookie cards, through the various manufacturers and brands that are sold. So if you are interested in learning additional information about the baseball card industry, the history of baseball cards, profiting and investing in baseball cards, or ideas to bring the fun back to collecting, be sure to follow us below. Feel free to view our library of YouTube videos, and please take a moment to hit the subscriber button. And also check out our eBay store, where we have available for sale many of the cards shown in these videos.